Boom shakalaka! Cha-cha-cha!
Shut up, Jack Black. Welcome back to episode number...
I yearn for the mines.
I saw that movie last year.
I have not. I have no intention of watching it.
It's the worst mistake I ever made in my life.
Yeah, no, every person I've talked to was like, it's not worth it.
I blame my wife for making me watch it.
Dang.
She wanted to see it, and it was just like, okay. But we watched it at our own home. We both agreed it was shit.
Yeah, no.
Anyway.
The only thing I think came out of it really is Adam still rants on about Minecraft Pringles. His like potion Pringles or whatever it was called.
Welcome back, guys. We got more Pringles, hopefully.
Pringles.
We are at episode number...
60... We're on our 60... We're on our... Second, 21st episode?
We are on 21. We are officially able to drink.
Dang. Except this isn't produced yearly. This isn't produced yearly, right? You're not releasing this yearly.
I might be releasing this quarterly.
Ah, dang. So I'm dead already, then.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to have these episodes released in eons.
Oh, dang. So I'm still alive.
Episode 21. Talking about our number 36.
Yep.
Well, Bryce, what are we doing today?
We are doing two notable directors today, actually.
Hooray!
Both non-American directors.
Oh my god. Akira Kurosawa is Canadian?
No. No. We are doing Akira Kurosawa's The Hidden Fortress.
Yes.
And we are doing Edgar Wright's Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Yep.
Based off the book.
Comic book.
Yes.
That's actually behind you right now.
We'll get that whenever it's
oh,
brought
no.
up.
Anyway.
We always like having our set piece books.
Yeah, we do. Let's see. So we started off with yours first last time?
Yep.
We'll be doing mine first.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce, would you do me the honors?
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. So, let's see if I can find that.
Show the people your legs. Don't just do that.
Okay, fine. I'll get you get up.
Good job, Chris. You don't have a job this week.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I'm just grabbing volume 1.
Just, yeah.
Actually, wait. Are they all together?
Yeah, it's a cardboard box thing.
Here we are. Scott.
There's no picture of Scott anywhere on here? Oh, I guess
This is Scott.
Hang on. Let me get the Scott out. Oh, it's with knives, too.
There you are.
Yep. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was a comic book from the 2000s.
Yep.
And it details... yep.
It's had a few adaptations. This is the first one.
There's only 2 adaptations. Well,
there's like a video game, like a film, and a TV show.
How about this? Okay, before we continue on, we have Scott Pilgrim the movie, which we will talk about.
This is the one we're talking about today's episode. Because we're a movie podcast.
Yep.
There's only like one movie.
Yep. There's also Scott Pilgrim the video game, which is a beat-em-up game.
Yep.
And then you have Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, which is a Netflix television show, which, by the way, I don't fully consider that a full-on adaptation of it. I call it a reimagining of Scott Pilgrim the movie, the comic, because it's different.
Makes sense.
But we're only talking about the Edgar Wright movie from 2010.
By Nathan, was it Nathan or is it Brian? Brian, I don't remember the person who made it.
Brian Lee O'Malley.
It's Brian Lee O'Malley, okay.
Yes, he worked on this
God,
movie.
what an Irish name.
Yeah. Actually, is he Irish?
With O'Malley as a last name, I presume.
Anyway, he speaks English.
Yeah.
So, Scott Pilgrim. This is a comic that I've had a long time. Love the comic. It's fantastic. The movie I have mixed opinions on as an adaptation. However, I do love the movie nonetheless for other reasons.
So, this is by Edgar Wright.
Yep.
Starring Michael Cera.
Yep.
Who fairly recently off of Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which was his big name break, so...
Isn't Arrested Development the one with,
Yeah, that's the one where Michael Cera is trying to have sex with his cousin.
Yeah.
Which is the gag about how awful that is. And...
Meanwhile, he segues from going from incest to
Pedophilia.
yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember how old Scott was in okay, this is going to be background information before we get on to the actual content of the movie. So, I've read the comic, shoot, how many years ago has it been? It's been a long time. And then the movie came out in the early 2010s, and this was a movie I watched quite a number of times. And it taught me a large amount on how to handle relationships and what not to do. Yeah.
Yeah. This subject matter has a lot to talk about with toxic relationships.
Yep. However, the comic I always recommend to people, especially if they are just getting into dating people, because I always tell them, this is probably what you should not do. However, there's a lot more material that is covered in the comic. Like, I have the 3 omnibuses right here. I think there's almost 20 total single volumes and stuff. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim. It's a comic that is about Scott Pilgrim finding his dream girl and is trying to get with her, but he has to defeat the 7 evil exes.
Yep.
And also he has to battle his own inner demons because Scott is also a giant piece of shit.
Yep.
He is literally the massive piece of shit. Literally, the movie tells you immediately, Scott Pilgrim is dating a 17-year-old.
Oh yeah, no, everyone rags on how awful he is.
Yeah, the modern discourse for Scott Pilgrim today is literally about him dating a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Every meme I've ever seen of Scott Pilgrim today is about how he dates a 17-year-old and how awful of a person he is. And saying the comic is bad because he did that. And it's have you actually read the comic? Because no one in the comic thinks it's a good idea that Scott is dating a 17-year-old when he's 23.
Yeah.
And there's another character in the comic. It's never portrayed. It's not shown in the movie because different adaptations and stuff. She does something completely just as bad, if not could be considered worse, than what Scott did with a 17-year-old. So yeah, but we're not talking about Scott Pilgrim the comic today.
Yeah, we're talking about the movie.
Yeah, we're talking about the movie. So, all-star cast.
Yes.
Michael Cera.
One of the evil exes played by Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, right when he was becoming famous with Captain America.
Yep.
Brie Larson. Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Ramona Flowers. There's a few other ones that are also well known.
What's the ex-girlfriend's? She's also another one.
Yeah, the girl Evil Ex. That is
No. The Scott's old ex.
Scott's old ex? Oh, the one that plays Kim?
Yeah. What's her? Because that's also another notable actress. I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
I can't either.
Yeah.
But no, one of the Evil Exes though, the girl one. I forgot her name, unfortunately. I'm sorry, but I do recognize her as a voice actress.
Oh yeah.
She plays Katara in Avatar.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So this is 5 years after she started doing that. She's also in for other cartoons as well that I know of. I mean, she was in the Owl House from a few years ago. But either way, do you know anything about Scott Pilgrim? Because I'm tied to this franchise.
Yeah. No, so I watched the movie in high school. So I watched it in high school. I remember it being very good because I was starting to watch some Edgar Wright stuff.
Yeah.
So I think I watched this and then Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched a couple of Edgar Wright things during that time period. And that's about my only experience. I have not played the game. I've not read the comic. I've not watched the TV show. I've just seen the movie. So I'm very, non-knowledgeable about Scott Pilgrim, the franchise.
Yeah. Of course, I've read the comic.
Yep.
I played the video game on Xbox. I have, of course, seen the movie a number of times.
Mm-hmm.
In the TV show, I thought it was going to be a straight adaptation. Honest to God, I'm happy that it's not, even though it does not. In all the adaptations of Scott Pilgrim, one of my favorite characters is not in any of them.
We're going to be talking about a straight adaptation of a comic here in, I think, next episode even. So.
Yeah.
But we'll discuss that later.
Yep. So. So Scott Pilgrim versus the world.
Yeah. So not a one-for-one adaptation. If we're going to go into the writing.
Yep.
So not a one-for-one adaptation. So what, pray tell, is it about?
Very simple. Scott Pilgrim is dating a 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And he is literally living... he's living with his gay roommate, Wallace Wells,
mm-hmm.
who's played by the brother of Macaulay Culkin. Yeah, I always love telling that to people. It's like, wait, what? Macaulay Culkin is in this? No, his brother is in it.
Living in a dingy one-bedroom, like...
Doesn't own a single thing in this apartment. Pretty much is like in his early 20s and is like, I'm all alone. But then he sees the girl of his dreams, literally, Ramona Flowers, an American. This takes place in Toronto, Canada.
Yep, it's Canadian.
It's a Canadian movie. And pretty much he wants to get with this girl named Ramona, and pretty much she tells him, yeah, you can date me. You just got to beat my 7 evil exes.
Yep. And
pretty much as the movie goes on, we learn more about Scott, and we learn more about Ramona and how her relationships have gone, whether for good or bad.
Yep.
Mostly bad.
Almost entirely bad.
Yep. So, yeah, this is essentially what the entire movie is about. It's just taking the premise of the comic and just adapting all of that. However, Scott Pilgrim, the comic, it is, yes, it's that, but there's so much more layers to it.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I agree, this is not a one-for-one adaptation, which I want to fault the movie for, but at the same time, with the amount of content that's in the comic, you are not going to be able to do it service with that. It's what the comic is for.
Yeah. That's always the thing. I talked about this back during our talk about The Time Machine, H.G. Wells. I'm never a big fan of one-for-one adaptations. I do think it has its place, but I never think it is a must-do. That you should always one-for-one adapt something, with minor exceptions. There are things that are like, okay, you should adapt this one-for-one.
Yep.
But for a film, like we're doing a live-action movie, you're not going to be able to get this much content. Like, this is a lot.
Yeah, like, this is 3 thick omnibuses and whatnot of a comic from the early 2000s. Good luck doing that.
So your 2 options are either make multiple movies, which they could not guarantee, or make one movie and condense it down.
Yep.
Which they chose the last one.
Yeah.
Which, fair enough.
Yeah. Honestly, like, when you're taking the basic premise from the comic and you're adapting it to the movie, it's pretty... But you pretty much get it spot on. Like, especially you get the major themes of the comic.
Yeah.
It pretty much conveys itself pretty well into the movie itself.
Yeah. It's a very concise plot.
Yep.
They don't leave any weird ends, because that's another problem I have with some adaptations of comics. I'm going to use another example, Akira. Akira has the potential of being an interesting story, but is condensed into a movie way too hard. They leave too many loose ends and open threads that it hurts the movie in the end. While Scott Pilgrim, I don't feel it does that as much. There is not as many in the movie loose ends that you're going, wait, what about this thing, though? Or what about this? Or like, wait, why did this happen? Like, they do a good job of drawing cause and effect without the external parts.
Yep.
So it feels perfectly well fit for that because of it. So I think they did an amazing job of condensing down this material.
Yeah. Like, the main thing, like, I would say, like, the thing I love about the adaptation of the movie is, like, it at least gets the major theme of what Scott Pilgrim is pretty much almost to a T. Even though it does sacrifice certain, like, character dynamics, moments, or even major plot threads, just for the sake of time, which it sucks that there is no proper Scott Pilgrim comic adaptation, but you have the comic.
Yeah.
Just read it. It's great. Please read it. I highly recommend it.
So,
but
yeah, they do have to move through quite a few things because they have to introduce a new, just mathematically, they have to introduce a new Evil X every 15 minutes.
Yes. You know what? I love
just to
how
fit in the time frame.
I love how you mentioned this because, very simply here, like a very simple question. Who is actually the main villain of the Scott Pilgrim, like, ethos, you could say?
It's Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. And you know what? And you want to know how it's conveyed that it's Scott Pilgrim? It's Evil Scott.
Yep.
And, like, literally in the comic, it's like a major battle in the end between a regular Scott and an evil Scott. Meanwhile, in the movie, how does it end? Oh, we're just best friends now.
Yeah.
We're going to go get food later.
This is me.
Yeah.
Which is a good play, because it's like, this is evil Scott. Oh, cool. I like him. It's like, I think that says a lot about you, if you like the evil version of yourself.
Yep. Well, it's like they just made up at the end, and it's like off-screen almost. It was like, we're about to have an epic fight, and then it's like, oh no, we're going to go get ourselves coffee next week.
Yeah. Which, where the F did Evil Scott go then? Because he didn't go back to the apartment.
No, I honestly don't know. You know what? I actually remember Brian O'Malley was once asked by somebody, like, what happens to the evil X's once they're defeated? Like, I mean, they blow up into coins, but, like, do they die, or what happens to them? I mean, Brian just says, oh, it's simple. I just have them go back to their home, and they just go, I don't want to be evil anymore. Like, they just wake up, and it's like, I don't want to be evil anymore. I get over Ramona.
This crap.
Oh, my God.
Being a henchman sucks.
Yep. But, yeah, like, the amount of, like, the fun ways that they try to condense the plot, just like how they handle Evil Scott, it's just played up for laughs. I do love that.
Yeah. Anything else you got for writing?
I love Wallace Wells' lines.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's the classic quipping sidekick.
Yep, the classic quipping gay side character.
Yeah.
I guess we can move on to acting.
Which we touched on a little bit already.
Yep.
Star-studded cast.
No bad performance.
I do want to give special attention to Michael Cera.
Yep.
There's a good reason they cast him here because, once again, right off of Arrested Development, he's playing a humorous person who's a bad person.
Yep.
Because he plays the character who's trying to hook up with his cousin in Arrested Development. And every time you're like, this is a terrible idea, man. Come on, stop it. But he's able to do it in such a way that you can't help but laugh at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar in another movie he did, Superbad.
Yep.
Where it's like, oh my god, this is such a terrible idea. You gotta stop it. But you're so hooked into him. He's so good at these roles, and it's a really good casting for him to do Scott Pilgrim.
Yep.
Exact same thing. Very, like, just not a great person, making a lot of bad choices, but you can't help but watch him.
My favorite thing about it was Michael Cera. I can easily tell he's having a lot of fun with this movie.
Oh, yeah, like
he said it multiple times, like, I had so much fun making this movie that when it was the last day of production, I felt like I was going to go into a deep depression. And whenever they did the television show a couple years ago, he was so sad that he's really not in that TV show really at all. He's not really the main focus. Like, literally the title literally tells you what the show is. He takes off. I love it. That was clever. But yeah, like Michael Cera, he's like fantastic in this.
Yep.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, also perfect casting as Ramona. I love her deadpan delivery.
Yes.
With everything. Like, because whenever I first read the comic, is like, I just didn't read it in a deadpan expression. Because, like, Ramona in the comic is much more lively.
Yeah, okay.
So, but with the Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I love it. I love her acting in it as well. I just love the deadpan delivery. And then also, I just know some people might think of this in the back of their mind. When you see the design of Ramona, and then you see how a large amount of women presented themselves in the 2010s, it's like, yeah, this definitely inspired a trend or aesthetic in people.
Which, well, I'm going to touch on a little bit in design.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in design. And of course, I mentioned Wallace Wells, played by Macaulay Culkin's brother. I'm sorry, I can't remember your first name.
Chris Evans getting to play another amazing a-hole character.
Yep.
We talked about Knives Out not that long ago.
Yep.
So him coming back to do, well, this is before Knives Out, so him doing another, like, just a-hole, like, butch, like, F you guy.
Oh, man. Yeah, just all-around star-studded cast. It's fantastic.
Production.
Yes.
So this is where we're going to talk about Edgar Wright.
Yep, the style.
So, this is going to bleed a little bit in design, but I'm going to use it for production. One thing that you have to know about Edgar Wright is he has a particular way of editing.
Yep.
Very rapid cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Very rapid cuts. But it's not like super jarring cuts, because what it is, he will show a character making a cup of coffee in like half a second.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cut to the beans, cut to a grinder, cut to the bubbling, cut to it beeping, cut to it pouring out, cut to them sipping. That's how he films someone drinking coffee. And it's all in like a few seconds.
I love how like Scott Pilgrim takes a large amount of inspiration from like video games and Japanese comic books. So like Edgar Wright took that idea and was like, okay, look, I'm gonna take the panels and stuff, but I'm gonna make sure to really make these people into comic book characters.
Yep.
So like say the first fight with an evil Lex and stuff, he comes flying in, literally how the comic introduces him and everything. It just recreates certain panels and stuff. That's why I love this movie. I love its style.
Yeah.
So much.
This is why it's going to bleed into the design a little bit, because they do special stuff for... Because normally we talk about special effects for production and things like that.
Yeah.
they don't try going for realistic special effects.
No.
It's very stylized.
Yep.
This is a hyper stylized film.
Mm-hmm. Like whenever you have like musical scenes, for example, you'll see like etches of like them playing their instruments. Like what was the band, that first band in the underground scene? Crash and the Boys.
Yep.
Is that girl a boy too? Should have said that in writing too. There's so many great one-liners in that movie. But yeah, like there's so much style in this movie with the special effects and whatnot. Especially when it's like, okay, we're trying to make this look like a video game. So you have the twins with the big dragon coming out. Everything looks so good.
Yeah. So because of that, I'm going to get into design.
Yep.
Because there's not a lot of talk about production because it bleeds over into design so much. This is a hyper stylized movie using like pixel art and like comic CG. So like it is not leaning so much into the realistic CG because anytime something like that comes up, it's very comic. The physical comedy on people is very ridiculous.
Yeah, literally, like the ones, like everybody talks about the scene where
he jumps out the window.
Yep, he jumps out the window.
Yep.
You know what? He just left.
Yep.
That's a good one there. Honestly, one that I do want to highlight because I always found it funny was Ramona's hair.
Hmm?
I could tell it's a wig and stuff, but they constantly change the colors of it whenever she's in a different scene and stuff. And it's just like, this is so stupid. Like, you could tell, like, it's a wig on top of hair or something like that and whatnot, but it's like, I like it.
Yeah.
I like this.
It never bothered me. So.
No, it never bothered me either, but it's just like, I just notice it because it's like, yeah, it's pointing to her attention. She's a very unique person from America.
Yeah.
Or the United States.
So yeah, design-wise, because it very much leaned into, at the time period, which was the hyper-internet style, a lot of people wound up kind of taking that on with their own branding because of that. It got very big on the internet. And subcultures within the internet took this movie very dedicatedly. Hence why you'll see a lot of people who dress like e-girls that are very equivalent to Ramona Flowers in style.
Yep. Oh, man. What was that stupid meme I saw? The consequences of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the movie, was a massive disservice to the human race because of what it did to women. I was like, what the crap, guys?
Yeah, so I definitely did go to popularize, like, this kind of alt-emo style. Like a cyber emo, but not like 90s cyber.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because, like, 90s cyber emo is very different. It's hard to define.
Yeah.
So because of that, the movie's very stylistic, and a lot of people wound up adapting that style. So heads up, when you watch this movie, some aspects of it might be like, oh, it's not that stylized. It's very stylized for the time. Like, this revolutionized how people, like, saw style.
At one point, I remember somebody saying that the best video game movie ever was Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, no, I've definitely heard that as well.
Yep.
Famously, video game movies are not great.
Yeah.
Video game has been a long art medium that has been extremely difficult to adapt to film.
Yeah.
They're just not as compatible as literature. Literature is a little bit easier to adapt to film because of the nature of storytelling. But
because, like, literally literature is, like, it's presenting the information to you and stuff
like a
that.
linear form through, like...
You like the book, you experience it, the book and whatnot. Meanwhile, the video game, you experience it in its environment around it.
Yeah, so it's a lot more... When you're observing a movie or a book, you're in a second person observing. In a video game, you're in a first person observant. Yeah. So you're much more in depth. So you'll see movies adapted to video games fairly often. And that's done like fairly well whenever that happens, with some exceptions, because there's some really bad ones with every adaptation. There are adaptations of everything, but I'm going to ignore that. It has been much more successful to adapt a movie into a game than it has been to adapt a game into a movie. So because of that, people often joke this is the best video game movie of all time because it's so hyper-stylized in the form of a video game. So because of that, people like to joke about it.
Yeah. Is there anything else for design, Bryce?
No, I think that's the bulk of design.
How would you recommend this movie to people?
Generally, I would say yes. This is a general recommendation.
Yeah. I would recommend this... Literally, I would just recommend almost everything with Scott Pilgrim. Especially the comic because of how much it tackles. However, most people don't read comic books anymore.
Yeah, it is a dying brand.
My brand.
My brand. Look
also,
where you're specialized.
But there's also the video game. I think there's also another new video game that they're just now making again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. The TV show's been very successful.
Yep. Even though, like, people were saying, like, I think Brian was talking about, like, saying, yeah, they are going to cancel the first season and stuff, so I'm just going to make sure the first season is very concise. And yeah, Netflix did say, yeah, we're canceling. Scott Pilgrim takes off. No season 2. It's like,
dang.
Well, it's like, yeah, fine, because, like, the first season literally wrapped up just fine.
Fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, how would you rate this out of 10?
I'd give this a 9.
Yeah, I'd rate it a 9. Really, it's usually either a 9 or an 8 for me, because it's like, it just depends on how I'm feeling about it as an adaptation, but all around, it's like, yeah, I
Catch me on a good day, this is probably a 10. But, like, I would say bulk of the time, this is an easy 9.
Yep.
The problems I have with it are very minor.
Mm-hmm.
So, because of that, it's a 9, but, like...
Like, if I read the comic... Like, say if I reread the comic recently and then I went to watch the movie, I would feel more sour to it. But if I haven't read the comic in a while and I've seen the movie, I'd be more favorable to the movie.
Fair enough.
Alright, so... Put that thing away!
Sitting here.
Get in the Hidden Fortress.
Yes! Akira Kurosawa... This is our second Akira Kurosawa film.
Yep. Oh,
so,
boy.
we will not be talking about Akira Kurosawa's style as much, because with every director, a major director, they have their own style. They have their own gimmick.
Oh my god, tying back to a previous episode.
Yeah, the last episode.
Yep.
But Akira Kurosawa, we're not going to be talking about style as much. We recommend, if you want to hear more about Akira Kurosawa's style, we recommend going back and watching Throne of Blood.
Yes.
So you go very into depth about his style and what he does and how he works with his actors.
Yep.
However, this is a notable one because if I remember correctly, this is an original.
Yes, actually, yeah.
Because a thing you'll know about Akira Kurosawa is he loves his adaptations.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is one of his non-ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, because of this, we will be tackling writing without talking about any pre-material with Akira Kurosawa. No adaptation stuff. This is purely him.
Mm-hmm.
So, how does he do?
Fascinating movie.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. So, fun fact for you, Bryce. It has been a couple weeks since I watched this movie, so I'm trying to make sure to remember every little detail.
Alright.
So, I might have to have you take the reins on this one.
I rewatched this morning.
Well, there we go. Anyhow.
I love this movie, so...
Yeah. Alright, so Hidden Fortress.
So...
What is this movie about?
This follows two, basically, bozos, wandering the countryside after, like, a horrible, like, series of events where this is following feudal Japan. And there's a horrific, like, war going on between two different kingdoms.
Mm-hmm.
And these two guys that are basically just caught up in it and had to leave and are just trying to continue their lives as normal. But, just a heads up, this movie is not favorable to feudal Japan.
No.
This is a very, very grim depiction, a very grounded depiction of feudal Japan.
Yep.
So because of that, these guys are going about, and they're just trying to desperately live until they find some secret gold.
Mm-hmm.
And it's these two guys being like, alright, let's get home with the gold.
Yep.
And that's it. Someone finds that they have found the gold, and it's an individual that is of a greater power.
The princess.
Mm-hmm. Particularly the princess general and the princess, but like, getting into some minor spoilers, it is now these two dudes just trying to get the gold they found to get home and being manipulated at every possible turn. And it is just these two dudes desperately not wanting a plot to happen around them. They're just like, please, stop! Can we go home? Like, they have a plan. They know what they're doing. They know everything that's happening. But they're being constantly manipulated by everyone around them. Like, they were perfectly content with, like, here is, like, 2 gold pieces. I was like, great! Let's go home! We can have 2 gold! We have, like, 2, like, gold bar things! We can go home happy! It's like, here's 200, but you have to, like, do all these things and, like, jump through these hoops. This is, like, they constantly are, like, trying to find a way to be like, we want to leave! Please let us leave! And they're being manipulated into staying.
Oh, my God.
It's so ridiculous.
You know, I guess this will go into writing.
Mm-hmm.
As I was watching this movie, you want to know what this was starting to remind me of in a sense?
What?
A mixture of Road to El Dorado.
All right.
You got two buffoons that are literally trying to get out, but it's literally an adaptation of The Man Who Would Be King. Like, we're confused as gods, but they're trying to get these riches from a golden city. But also, I hate to admit it, Star Wars.
I have some information for you.
Let me guess. George Lucas took that idea and made Star Wars with it.
Yep.
Who would have guessed?
George Lucas was an enormous Akira Kurosawa fan.
Of course he was.
So he used parts of Hidden Fortress as inspiration for Star Wars.
He's also a big fan of rabbits stepping in the poopy.
I'm not familiar with this. What?
I'm talking about Jar Jar.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep. Oh my god.
He just stepped in the doo-doo.
Anyway, so yeah, the story is basically that. It's basically Star Wars.
No, it is not basically Star Wars.
I know it's not. No. No, there is some inspiration I can see that George Lucas got to make Star Wars from the Hidden Fortress.
Yeah, particularly around, if you've seen Star Wars before, C-3PO and R2-D2.
Yep.
You can tell their storyline is heavily based off of Hidden Fortress.
Mm-hmm. What else is there with the writing? So like I said, it's been a while since I saw this movie, so Bryce, have the reins.
So as I said, this is a very ridiculous movie, but it's also a very brutal movie. So that's one of the standout things I do have to mention is it does not take a super favorable look at feudal era Japan.
Yeah.
It is very grounded because of that. And there are plenty of the characters in the movie that do not act nicely to each other. And very notably, the two main characters, they are like the best of friends that hate each other's guts. Because they argue and bicker with each other so much until the slightest inconvenience happens and they're like joined at the hip.
Yep. That sounds very similar to us, Bryce. Because guess what? If it weren't for this podcast, I would have thrown you out of this window right now.
To be fair, I don't think we're joined at the hip then. I think this is more just a thing of convenience. I think this is more like Penn and Teller. Like we're like the Mythbusters. We just work together.
Exactly. We don't get paid, but we are making sure that this content is online.
Yeah.
For whoever decides to watch it. Somehow we got 160 people to watch an episode. I'm very proud of that.
Dang.
Yeah.
Let's hope that ages poorly.
We'll find out.
Let's see. We're hoping for 0 views. Let's go.
Woo! Anyhow, yes, with writing. Yeah, I love how much it portrays feudal Japan, and I do love the bickering between the two bozos that are literally basically wearing rags.
Yep. Like these are two poor gentlemen who are like desperately trying to not resort to thievery. Mm-hmm. Like they're doing everything they can to survive. And they are much more in tune with like how things are going on compared to the princess character. Mm-hmm. The princess character isn't so much like hand-held high ones that you're used to, because it is still a very grounded one, but it's a lot more of a brutal one. They're very argumentative and angry, and they dislike everything, but they still have like this idealism behind them, where they're wanting people to work a certain way and not be mean to each other, while the other two guys, like the bozos, are like, yeah, no, everyone's awful to each other. That's just how the world goes. We're just trying to live here. And she's like trying to fix things. They're just like, what's going on? Like, what's happening?
Oh my god.
Because they're like, you're making things worse. This is going to make things awful again. Like, yeah, it's a very good movie.
Yep. Anything else for writing?
No. They're moving to acting.
I love all the people in this movie.
Yes, so there's a few favorites of Akira Kurosawa in here, particularly the general character.
Yep.
You might recognize his face.
I can only wonder what movie he was in. What character was he in a previous movie that we talked about, Bryce?
You might have been in Throne of Blood.
May have played a character that is kind of similar to his.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you going to say it?
No.
Dang.
Because I know you want to say it. So, yeah. Either way.
Isn't this our Macbeth right here?
Yep.
Oh boy, our beautiful Macbeth that was shot at multiple times with real arrows.
Still just as great facial acting.
Yep.
I still hold that they're one of the best facial actors that's ever been put to film. So good. Such great facial acting, as always. His isn't as over the top in this one. Throne of Blood, it's ridiculous. It is like miming to camera levels of facials. This one's a little bit more subtle.
Yep.
But it's still very good.
Yep.
They even reference it several times in the movie about the princess being like, this face you make is the most fake face I've ever seen. It makes me so angry. Like, he's a good job of that, like, stern, like, I am addressing the princess. I cannot emote a single iota of my face.
Jesus Christ.
It's so good.
Princess character. Another big sad ad.
Yes. This is a very different adaptation that people are probably used to for a princess character. Because this isn't even going in lines with, like, Mulan or anything like that.
You want to know how I almost saw it? I almost wanted to say?
What?
It's almost like Fiona from Shrek.
Yeah, no, I can see a bit of Fiona.
You know what? Weirdly enough, I shouldn't have said Star Wars. This movie is basically Shrek.
Oh my god.
I'm not kidding. I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of close.
I would say it's closer to Shrek than Star Wars. I will say that much.
Yeah. The only reason why it said Star Wars is because I thought those two buffoons were reminding me of R2-D2
Yes.
and what's his name?
You absolutely can see those two are very similar to that. But regardless of it, back to acting, very good.
Yes.
Every person in this movie is so good. Which will lead me into production now, if you're fine with that.
Bring it.
Akira Kurosawa, as always, so good at structuring his movies. They're so good. The movies he make are always super long, but they're always an easy watch. Because we're going to get into some movies of his that are like 3.5 hours long.
Seven Samurai, I think.
Yeah, Seven Samurai, I think is 3.5. He makes very long movies. Do you remember how long this one is?
2.5 hours long?
About 2.5, yes. About a 2.5 hour movie. It is an easy watch. Cool. I can get through this and be like, dang, I can't believe we made an hour-long movie.
Yay.
It is such an easy, quick watch. But in reality, it's not. It is a long movie. But that's like one of the really good things about Akira Kurosawa. So he just has this way of staging a set and having a scene move so fluidly and so well that it's so nice. It's just so clean. It's a reason why I have so many Akira Kurosawa movies on my list. I just think he is one of the best directors. Like, in terms of just being able to direct a movie, he is one of the best, if not the best.
Pretty much, yeah, same thing. I agree. The way that he's able to structure a movie and even move the camera is just so fantastic to me. And it's like one of those things that's like, I always tell people, watch movies in countries where, like, especially early on, where they just started getting cameras and stuff, and just see how they decide to use it and stuff. Like, I seen the movie about 1.5 years ago or so, where it was one of the first movies that was made in Bhutan.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so like a large amount of like the director, he was like, okay, I'm going to make sure to highlight a large amount of the landscapes of the Himalayas, since this is where we're in Bhutan.
Yeah.
And then just like finding new and clever ways to introduce characters and stuff. Like basically this movie was like one person just starts walking, it was like a monk character, and he's just coming through on like the side of the mountain with like all of his stuff, and he's just walking on the road, and then he just stands next to the main character, and he's trying to hitchhike with him. It's like, what a great way to bring it in.
No, like a landscape movie in Bhutan focusing on, like, a movie in Bhutan focusing on the landscape sounds like it'd be beautiful. Bhutan's such a beautiful country.
Can't go there, though.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
But yeah. You can, it's just so expensive.
Yeah.
It's so expensive.
So expensive, and it's actually hard to get a travel visa.
Yeah.
But anyway, just watch some of like the ways in which like you have people that were not. At least Japan did have like cameras and stuff like that. I mean, like they were doing animation for even years before that.
Yeah.
It's just that once they actually are having the more resources, especially like mingling with the United States and getting to actually learn more, like they're getting like American movies over in their area, and it's like, how can we make this but in our way?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Kurosawa usually does.
Yep.
He got exposed.
He was the first major director in Japan.
Yep. So he got exposed to stuff like Shakespeare. So that's where we got the Blood. And then he was just like, okay, let's make my own story, Hidden Fortress.
Yep. And he would often go back to other works of adaptations. I'm sure way down the line we're probably going to talk about Ran.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Ran's, I think, Inevitable we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
What another Akira Kurosawa movie?
Probably my favorite. Because that was the first one where he was finally allowed to be able to film in color.
Yes.
And I
think it's one of his only in color movies.
Yep. And it was like, it's so much fun watching directors that have mainly done black and white, but as soon as they get to have color, it's like,
yep,
let's have some fun with this.
A lot of color.
Yep.
Lots of color.
Yep.
But either way, there's not as much in this movie if we want to move into design.
Yes.
Because design-wise, this is black and white, and they lean into the dark grunginess of it. Because, as I said, this is focusing on a lot of the dark aspects of feudal Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So they use the black and white for that to really desaturate so much of what happens in this movie. Because it feels dull and dark and hopeless. Because, once again, this is following two normal dudes, trying to live. Right? And the trouble that comes with that. Like, trying to just live.
Just struggling to live in the circumstances of that time period.
Exactly.
Good luck with that.
And it just shows how hard it is. And the absolute cowardice they need to use just to bob and weave. And every character, one in particular, loves to call them out on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, what would you prefer them to do?
Oh man, I love the costuming of all the characters. Like the buffoons, they're basically wearing rags.
Yeah.
Princess looks...
They look like a boy.
Yeah.
They're dressed like a boy.
Yeah. The general looks like the general.
Yep. He's the most put together of anyone there.
Yep.
He's like spotless, while everyone else is covered in filth.
Yep. And also the environments that they have as well.
It's shanty and falling apart, and it looks like a lot of this has either been destroyed or was built this afternoon.
Hey, good enough. It'd be easy to take apart later.
Yeah, but it works amazing because it is following a war with so many refugees that are just trying to find somewhere to live. Because, just to give you an idea, talking writing slightly, there's a scene midway through the movie talking about them buying women. And just oh my god, this is how desperate things are, that people literally are selling off women to each other just to live.
Yep. Whew. Well, Bryce, anything else for design?
No.
Would you recommend the movie to people?
Generally, yes. I have recommended this to people in the past, and I'm going to recommend it to more in the future.
Hooray! Because I would too. I'd give it a 10.
This is an easy 10 for me, too.
Alright.
We're going to down more and more 10s as this list goes down.
We're finally getting somewhere, guys. I'm finally no longer a stickler in the mud.
Yeah, I'm a lot more open to 10s than he is.
Yep. Alright, so for next time, we've got another documentary again.
Oh, yeah?
And another comic book adaptation.
Yeah?
Y'all are in charge of watching Sin City, 2005. Our first Robert Rodriguez movie.
Yes, I think our only one. We're probably not going to talk a lot about Robert Rodriguez in this podcast.
Nope. And then I think our most recent movie edition.
That sounds correct.
Half-Life 2 20th anniversary documentary.
Yes, that one's free on YouTube.
Yep. You have no excuse. I think Sin City is also free to find on streaming services.
Probably.
So, yeah. Well.
Wah!
Okay.